Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Man, We're Too Old for This, here on the Nerd Eternal Network. I'll be your host for the day, the experience that some call Jason, and with me as usual is...
Coming to you live from his exercise bike in the middle of the quarantine zone, the manly man of action, the Todd Father.
And...
the token monster through a sippy straw, Tarky.
And joining us once again is our special guest...
Tony the Hitman Horton coming to you live from Avengers Mansion.
Who knew all that was in Huntsville?
Oh yeah, it is. You didn't know that?
Yeah, I've been missing out.
Yeah, once they got to space, they found a lot of shit.
Oh.
Need to talk to Nick Fury. Nick Fury will let you know a lot of things.
So today, we're going to be discussing the comic industry and what the pandemic's doing to it, and whether or not we think it will survive, or at least survive in any recognizable form. As you might know if you've been keeping up with the news, Diamond Distribution has basically shut its doors for the duration of kind of the pandemic. So, at least of the big two, none of the physical comic books are being delivered.
And I want to say DC actually has got a pencils down order. I think they basically told the artists, "Oh, well, hold up."
Well, I guess they don't want to, don't want to be paying them if they ain't gonna be able to put the stuff out.
It's true.
That is correct.
So,
I mean, they have a lot of comic artists looking for work online.
Well,
Yep.
a lot of these guys are doing, since I'm somewhat part of that community. A lot of these guys are doing to stay fresh on their skills is they're turning to their fans and they're asking their fans what could they do to help contribute to the issue that's at hand right now, because the industry is at a standstill, and if you don't have product going out, you don't have money coming in, which I think is a great thing right now, because due to the fact that the quality of books that were being put out, there was nothing that was stellar at this particular point in time, because everything to me has gotten to the point to where it's stagnant, rehash, and they were pushing these political agendas that just wasn't happening in books. Core readers are wanting something new. They're not wanting a rehash of
now,
something
I've
that's
been
already
hearing good
existing.
things. I've been hearing good things about Hulk, and one or two other books. It's like there's one or two bright spots, and then that's pretty much been it.
Well, see, that's the thing. The one or two bright spots are getting overshadowed by the rest of the stuff that's being put out that isn't prevalent anymore. I mean, let's face it.
Something that's really hurting the industry. That were I one of the people that ran one of the big two, I would be almost totalitarian as far as my employees being on social media, because you just brought up Thor. Donny Cates, love his new Thor.
Mm-hmm.
But Donny Cates went on Twitter and is basically like, well, if you don't agree with me on this, then you can eat a bag of pre-fucked dicks. Dude, I'm the person that buys your book. You need to chill. And one of the things I think that's you've had this come along and slap an industry that was already on life support. And a big
Correct.
part of the thing that put them there was Twitter. Because your creatives will block and curse out and all kinds of crap, thinking that the people that they tell them to go to hell ain't the people that come and buy the book. And the people that pay for that is your local comic book shop, and eventually them, because hell, your books ain't selling. They have lost the idea that that's your customer. Yeah, you might disagree with your customer, but there needs to be a line in that disagreement.
There needs to be some stability.
That's way before eat shit and die. Because comics has always been a word of mouth kind of industry, and you go and tell somebody that basically goes, well, I don't really like what you're doing with Thor. Fuck you and fuck your mom, and eat shit and die and eat a bag of pre-fuck dicks and all this, well, you just lost that customer. It's going to be a lot of people that looked at what you said to that person and went, well, fuck you then. Especially when you come talking about books now that help $4 and $5. Yeah, they ain't food. They're entertainment, which means I can do without buying your shit. You should always have that in the back of your head. You thank people. If you give me your money, thank you. I ain't telling you to go eat shit and die. I'm just not. That's not a good business model.
That goes back to when these artists and writers were in the 12th grade and coming up with these stories, and their family and friends were like their biggest fans. And they go to a convention and they pitch this idea to an editor or a comic book writer, and they get laughed at. It's humbling. The industry right now needs to be humbled, because all these guys that are in the industry has this rock star mentality that people have put them on these damn pedestals and thinking that the next best thing since sliced bread to come along and breathe new life into these characters. When
I give you that.
Except
Go
all
ahead,
the
Tark.
people up top, this ain't gonna humble them. They're just gonna go, well, this was crap anyway. Move on to my next project. That'll be it.
Well, that's the thing, you
All it's gonna humble are the people that came in for a paycheck that don't have $2 million behind them.
Right.
And they're the ones that are stuck out in the rain.
Yeah, it hits the comic shop owner first.
Yeah.
Because now you got a shit ton of issues that you can't sell. But you still owing them owing Diamond money for this crap.
Well, that's what I'm saying. This is why this is a good thing, because this gives all the owners a chance to communicate amongst themselves while this downtime is going on. You don't have to take it. They don't have to take it. They don't have to participate in it. They don't have to buy into it, because ultimately the shops are the driving force that's keeping these businesses, that's keeping the industry afloat.
Except I can go and buy online right now.
Yep.
I can pre-order online for an online copy of a comic book from a major industry.
Now, the big two are not releasing them online either. The big two are not going to release them online either during this shutdown, because the comic shop started complaining.
Right, but I can pre-order them online.
Yes, pre-order you can probably do.
Which will be a shipment to me, which cuts out the comic shop owners anyway.
I have been wondering if this will push more people towards digital when all said and done.
No, it's not. It's not, because this is the thing. My money right now is going towards things that I need to survive. I can survive
when this is over.
Issue.
I'm talking about when this is over.
Even still, what it's going to do is it's going to teach me it's going to teach me to the point to where, okay, I survived this without having to buy an issue, another boring issue of Amazing Spider-Man. So going forward with the industry restarting, unless they get their ducks in a row, I'm not going to buy another issue of Amazing Spider-Man. So again, this is a humbling situation where people are going to have to take into consideration of, okay, we had something that was going. This pandemic brought it to a halt. Now they have time to talk amongst themselves. They have time to communicate with the rest of these people that are in the industry, because in their downtime, they're going to be talking about things. You'd be surprised what writers are saying about books that they're on. You'd be surprised at what artists are saying about books that they're on,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get it. They're drawing the book, but they're not drawing the book with passion, because the story, me being an artist right now and wanting to jump on and do one of the major two books, I wouldn't want to do anything of the major two books, because I wouldn't want to be tied to none of this crap that they're putting out right now. I don't want to be remembered as the guy that did Moon Knight, that suffered from multiple personality syndromes and decided that he identified himself as a non-binary character. I don't want to be that guy that came along that was running on that book.
Let me ask you something, Tony. Since you know a lot of artists in the industry and stuff, how many of them that aren't really aren't with the shutdown really aren't working for Marvel or DC at the moment? How many of them are starting up their own projects to release solely online? Has there been any major talk about that?
There has been. There's several of them. Sean Murphy just came forward, the guy that was behind Batman, White Knight.
Oh,
They got the popular.
Yeah,
Sean Murphy is doing a creator-owned book right now that he had to put on the back burner because DC was, adamant about keeping him on as many Batman titles as possible. They were like, okay, we're gonna come out with another chapter for you to do, and he had to put his side project on the back burner. But now, since everything is going like it is, you starting to see he's developing these characters for this new project that he's working on for either Kickstarter or Indigo, and that's where they're going to, because this is the thing, they're using that same method as Bruce Lee used. If you can't go into the front door, you go into the side door. There's no way you make a way. So there's no way for them to make money using the big two. So they're going to make money by doing their own thing. They built a name for themselves off of the big two that their fan base is going to carry over with them no matter what project that they're working on. So why not do an independent book?
Yes, that's really one of the big something I've been wondering about was how many of the artists would jump to their own thing.
It's more and more. Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's what's going to save the industry. It's what saved the industry years ago when this stuff got like this. In the 90s, you had all this crap going on. You had all the top tier artists and all the top tier writers left and formed their own thing.
They did that during one of the largest comic booms in recent memory, though. They did that when comics were on the uptick, not while they were plowing into the ground.
They need to do it again for the simple fact. What do you got to lose? You got everything to gain right now because you're not losing any money. You're not losing any money if you're doing an Indigo project or if you're doing a Kickstarter project because people are paying for you to produce this. So you're not losing any money.
Yeah, if you do the Kickstarter Indiegogo model, yeah.
Yeah, everything from that point is all what the fans are wanting, and they're paying for it, and you're just providing it for them. So it's a win-win situation.
Now, what you might wind up with, though, is the big two may not survive this, though I'm betting they will for at least a while because, Marvel's got Disney money. But comic shops may not survive. AT&T. Physical comics may not survive.
I say physical comics will survive. And I think what they're looking at now is they're looking at a model for them to just stop the comics in general and just focus on the merchandise of the licensing agreement for the product that they have. So, say for instance, if you're a Spider-Man fan and you're not getting any Spider-Man comics, but if they happen to come out with this cool Spider-Man poster or this cool Spider-Man shirt or this cool Spider-Man game, or this cool Spider-Man screensaver, you're going to be about it because that's all you have.
Does anybody actually use screensavers anymore?
They do. The animated screensavers are the thing right now. These 3D images that you can take and turn your phone to the left or to the right, you see the whole battle scene and all that.
Now,
that's the thing. A lot of people are doing that now.
That's the wallpaper.
So, yeah.
Well, one thing though, a lot of people is, how long can you make money off those characters when there's nothing pushing them? Yeah, me and you might buy Spider-Man shirts the rest of our lives, but
that's the thing. They have TV series that are still in development. They have cartoons that's still in development. With everything that's going on, you can still produce licensed product. It's going to be a slow go versus having that momentum of having the extra media.
The IP will survive. The IP will survive. The problem is, and the thing that kind of hurts me being old school is, I think the days of hit video and shop and all that, I think they come into a close.
And for anybody listening, Hit Video was also a comic shop in addition to a video shop.
Yeah, but I think that's coming to a close. And truthfully, that's the only part of this that saddens. there's a feel of going to an actual comic shop with actual nerds there and talking about your books and you getting turned on to new books and stuff like that. That is like going to the movie theater. Yeah, there's a whole lot of stuff I can watch at the house, but there's nothing like going to the movie theater with the smell of popcorn in there. You know what I mean?
So I get what you're saying.
There's a joy in that, at least for me.
I get what you're saying in that aspect of it, but again, this purge needs to happen because you get these stores that feel like they're elitist and they're the big dogs with the fuzzy nuts and nobody here is better than we are. They need to be humbled. They need to understand what got them to the point to where they are from where they're being open from 10 years,
the shops
20
aren't going to be
years,
humbled. The
30
shops are going
years.
to be out of business.
The shops are going to be gone. The shops are going to be gone.
Truthfully, if the shutdown lasts much longer, most of the shops aren't going to make it because most comic shops aren't rolling in money anyway.
And let's face it, most people you're saying gonna humble them. They're sitting back on 40 years of having worked the industry and have millions of dollars behind their back, or enough money behind their back. They just go, "Had a good run of it, boys." And
Well, it's either people running the big corporations that this is just a very small side thing.
Yeah, it's
because or I've been in the industry 40 years. I'll just retire now.
Yeah. Really
Yeah. Well, I'm not looking
really
at the people that's
by the Marvel comics not working out.
I'm not looking at that aspect of it. I'm looking at the small business owners that
need to be humbled.
Yeah, they're not the ones.
Well,
they're not the cause of the problems.
No, they're not, but they've contributed to it over the years. After working in the industry for 20 plus years, you come across a lot of these businesses that trash talk other stores, that belittle other stores, or if you're not part of their elite core that work there, oh, you're reading Aquaman, this book sucks. Why would you take a tail after somebody that's coming in that's paying your light bill?
I have never had somebody at the comic shop at any comic shop tell me that.
The trick is Tony, you worked for the Gordon Gekko of comics in Huntsville, because the folks that the other shops around, with the exception of maybe one, they wouldn't like it. I hated this. I hated to see shop go.
Yeah.
I visited.
Shop was like Cheers. Where you work, yeah, I know, cause hell, I was there for a hot minute, and hell, leaving that joint was one of the greatest things that I managed to do in life. So I get where you coming from. But the trick is, he is not indicative of most comic shops, and that's just it. You had better shops here in Huntsville closed with him still there. His business practices were crap. They are crap, but now he's a monopoly, so he gets to be crap amongst. I get where you're coming from with that particular shop. The trick is the industry, he was not the prevailing majority of shops, and they're not going to be humble. They're going out of business. They're gonna be like shop. They're gonna be gone. Period. Gone. Done.
Yeah. The ones that might survive are the ones that have diversified, into games, into hosting Magic tournaments, and that kind of stuff might keep some of them going.
Yeah, but the trick to that, the people, and it's like Tarky said, the people that actually need to be hit got enough money that this ain't really gonna hit them like it ought to.
Yeah,
Marvel will not sit back and go, you know what? Maybe crap like New Warriors is a bad idea. Maybe doing what we've been doing to our customers is a bad idea. Because the trick is, even if Marvel Comics closes down tomorrow, yeah, Disney's got the IP. They don't really care. AT&T may shut down DC, but they don't care because hell, they got all they want is the IP.
Yep.
The comics are really. Disney said this about Marvel 5 years ago. Oh, the comic book section is really just our research and development for the movies. The movies are making them billions of dollars. They don't give a rat's ass about the comics. The comics is just something to have.
Do a more historical approach to this. Let's say the Great Depression. Yeah, it humbled everybody that didn't have $1 million.
Yep, and it humbled some millionaires, but
not many.
No, not the ones that.
No, the ones that understood they weren't going to make more later.
Yeah.
But now we're in the world of there are multi-billionaires. Yeah, this ain't gonna hit them.
Yeah, AT&T isn't really going to care if DC shuts down. It's not really going to affect their bottom, their bottom line.
So ultimately, what's going to wind up happening is you're going to have a lot of Robert Kirkmans come along and pretty much save the comic industry yet again. And a lot of the veteran artists that we grew up with that started Image are going to have these little offsprings that they've came along with that they've been tootling along the way.
The trick is that's going to take time to build up, and the comic shops will be gone by that point. Which is why I don't think the physicals are going to make it much longer. I think what you'll have is a lot of digital and probably releases in like trade paperback format.
And that's
you may
the
have
thing.
graphic novels.
Yeah, because the graphic novels people tend to like.
You're going to have that initial push for independent books. You're going to see a lot of Kickstarters. You're going to see a lot of Indigo. You're going to see a lot of independent books.
Let one or both of the big two go away, and you're going to have a lot of the independent guys really make a push. And I'm curious to see how that works out.
And truthfully, you will have some names making a push too because their contract work.
Yep.
Right.
Contract. You don't get rich off contract work. Most of your comic book artists ain't Jim Lee. They ain't.
Correct.
Most of your comic book creators are not Jim Lee. They ain't rolling in dough because they contract work, and you ain't making a shit ton of money off of contract work.
Well, the big names are making a decent living, but they're not getting rich, no.
Right. And the trick is you let the big two go away, it's gonna change some attitudes. And you have I think it was Brett Booth that was kinda online basically going, you'll pay $25 for a 48-page comic, but you won't spend $3 for a 20-page something online. What in the hell's wrong with you guys? So the contract workers may get a slap to the face. Do I think they're gonna be on the breadline? No. But if it does just enough that they stop telling the people that give them money to eat dick, then it's worth it.
You're saying they may be the ones that need to be humbled.
Yeah, when you hear me talk about humbling, no, you can't humble Marvel because it's got Disney money. You can't humble AT&T. You can't humble DC because they got AT&T money. But truthfully, Marvel ain't the ones calling the people giving them money shitbags and telling them to eat dick. It's the creators. It's the contract workers. That's why I made the statement that I made in the beginning that if I ran one of these, I'd be down their throats like it wasn't no tomorrow because you playing with my pockets. I don't give a damn that you don't like somebody that voted for Trump. As long as that money's green and spend, you keep that shit to your damn self.
Mm-hmm.
Or you do it on your own time when you ain't writing one of my books. You get what I'm saying? But if I put you on Thor, if I put you on Spider-Man, if I put you on Captain America, yeah, you're going to have to keep some of that damn opinion to your damn self. Especially when you tying your name to my product.
And that's what I was getting.
And that's something that they are not doing. And truthfully, that's the reason why this industry is so weak going into this. It's got a bad immune system because you got 5 years worth of creators on Twitter telling paying customers that I don't give a damn what you think. Fuck you if you don't agree with me. Chain blocking people. All for simple kind of stuff that, hell, some of that stuff, I could get it if it was racist or something like that, but hell, some of that is just simply, dude, that Thor storyline you wrote where Jane became Thor, that don't really make a whole hell of a lot of sense. Well, she ain't doing nothing that Thor didn't do in the 60s. Well, the hell with you, and the hell where you come from, and fuck your mother, and eat a bag of dicks because you hate women. No, I don't hate women, I just hate your damn story. And as a customer, I put it like this. Nobody has the mindset of Coca-Cola back in the 80s. Back in the 80s, Coca-Cola changed the formula of Coca-Cola and made New Coke. They put New Coke out,
the consumer went, I don't like this crap. So what did Coca-Cola do? Did they go, this is Coca-Cola for a new generation, and you suck, and fuck you, and fuck your mom, and eat a bag of dick? Or did they go, well, okay, well, here's Coca-Cola Classic. Because so for a while there, you're right. So for a while there, you had New Coke and Coca-Cola Classic, both on the shelves, and what happened? The market decided we like Coca-Cola Classic, and New Coke is gone. Comics don't do that. Comics goes, well, here's New Iceman, and New Iceman is gay. And the market goes, I don't like that. And instead of going, maybe we ought to change up, no, they go, no, fuck you. You're an istophobe, eat a hot bag of dick. And when the market lets the book crash out 6 issues into the run, instead of going, you know what, this idea didn't work, they just reboot the shit with a brand new number 1 with the same writer, the same artist, and the same whack-ass story that went for another 6 fucking issues. And then they sit there and go, well, why is the industry so fucked up? Because the consumer, they are so busy chasing the consumers that they want that they don't give a shit about the consumers that they have. A bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. They go, fuck, I'll kill that bird that's in my hand because, goddamn it, I want them motherfuckers in that bush. And I don't care how many birds that have supported me for all these years I got to get rid of to get these motherfuckers in that bush that ain't coming. They've had since, 2015 to grow this market that was supposedly out there that was full of all these people that they cater to. And the books were steadily going down year by year. They sold less than the year before, and less than the year before, and less than the year before. So some of that, when it goes away, when we were going, well, will it survive? And then I always go, and should it? Because they don't follow the dictates of the market. Dude, I'm black. I don't give a damn. If I'm selling a product, I don't care if the Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan gives me their money. I will take that shit and laugh my ass off. I bet you they don't know they're giving it to a black person. And take that shit right on and spend it. I don't give a damn about your politics if I'm selling a product. I don't care who buys my product if I'm selling the product. I want all y'all to buy it. Mm-hmm. Period. And that's the thing is comics these days, it's all about the message and the purity. You got these purity tests. That's the reason why the books ain't worth shit, because Marvel these days, Marvel and DC don't, when they come up with they go, we want to do a new book. They don't go, let's put out a want ad for a writer and then let people submit and pick the best one. Sana Amanat on her podcast flat out said, look, you don't come to Marvel, we come to you. You put out your work and we find you. So what they do is they look and go, okay, your politics are right. Or in the case of like the young lady that they had writing Ironheart, ooh, she looks like the character. We'll hire her. And they hiring people that have no love for the character, no love for the medium. Never fucked with a comic, never read a comic, never gave a shit about a comic, didn't have a brother that read comics, didn't have a dad that read comics, ain't no jack shit about comics. Hell, some of them flat out don't even like the damn industry. And then you go put them on Spider-Man and watch the shit flop. Yep. There's no passion there.
You know, I will at no point criticize Marvel or DC for trying to expand their market. For aiming a handful of books even at a particular market.
But if they fail, they fail.
Right, because it's a business. At the end of the day, you've got to be making money if you want to continue.
And with their hiring practices and with their attitude, hell, they become predictable. You read the thing, you know what? I know the female character is gonna kick more ass than every dude in here. It's just, hell, I don't even really have to read the shit, because it's going to happen. It's predictable. They don't have a sandbox mentality. A sandbox mentality is everybody shows up playing the sandbox and playing the sandbox. I've said this on shows before. Hey, you want a black character? Well, great. I'm a black kid. I want to have black characters in comic books. But I want them to be cool.
if all you can give me is Sam Wilson as Captain America, you can keep the shit. Because you're not concerned with me having quality representation. You just want the diversity cookie. When you look, when we did the show about New Warriors, when you look at Snowflake, at least on the surface, yeah, they just wanted the fact that they can see we got the first non-binary character in comics. We don't care if the character lame as shit. We just want to say we got one. That's not representation. That's really diversity for the sake of a marketing tool. It's pandering. Oh, see, they gay. Yeah, but they suck.
They use it like a gimmick.
Right. It's because that's exactly what it is. It's a gimmick. They are not going, hey, this kid is non-binary. Let's give them the coolest non-binary character we can come up with. No, they don't give a fuck. They are doing for them exactly what they did for black kids. I'll give you Falcon. Trust me, no fucking kid on the playground when Falcon was created went, shit, I want to be Falcon. Falcon was the motherfucker that they made you play.
Mm-hmm.
What's his power? He talks to birds.
And he flies.
No, when he first showed up, he didn't even fly. He was a rooftop jumper.
Oh, that's true.
He was a rooftop jumper that talked to a bird. Not even, hell, he didn't even talk to birds, plural. He talked to a bird. Nobody, and hell, when he got the suit that did fly, hell, it had chicken feet. Ain't nobody wanting to rock that shit. I can remember when I was a little kid, my dad brought me a Mego Falcon toy home, and I was like, what the hell is this? Oh, no, I'm good. He looked lame. His powers were lame. You bring that to today, what only thing they do is they, instead of it being a racial aspect, they take a sexual aspect. The only characters that they go out of their way to make super powerful these days in the name of diversity are white females. Now, you can be Captain Marvel and be the baddest motherfucker that ever set foot on planet Earth. Jane Foster Thor can be the baddest motherfucker that ever set foot on Earth.
Monica Rambeau is lucky if she gets in a book.
Right. Monica Rambeau's barely in a book, or you have some lame like Mosaic. There was the biggest pile of fucking bullshit that hell I've read in God knows how long. You know, or you take Black Panther, which was a decently representative character, and turn Wakandans into slavers with rape camps and treetops, and he's a milksop, and he's outshone by his little sister. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So even when they come talking about, oh, we're doing this so everybody can feel represented, bullshit. It's tokenism. It's tokenism. Mm-hmm. You can say, I got a black token, I got a gay token, I got a non-binary token, I got a trans token, but them characters suck ass. Half of that, yeah. Do you have bigoted people in comics? Shit, yeah. But half of that is half of the people saying these characters are lame because them motherfuckers are lame. They lame. Period. You know, you got, oh, we want black characters. We got Blue Marvel. You could do something with him. Nah, I don't fuck with that. I'm good. But I give you Moon Girl. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I got Monica Rambeau. Nah, I don't want to do shit with her. But, you know, I give you Ironheart. I give you some knockoff somebody. I give you somebody with an innate sense of inferiority. I give you the inferior Captain America running around getting his ass beat by everybody from Batroc to Leap to fucking Armadillo.
To his girlfriend.
That bastard got that to his girlfriend. That bastard got knocked out. His first 6 issues, he got knocked out in 5 of them. And when he did finally win one, he won it fighting a white woman. Yeah. There's your Captain America for you. Then if you want to follow him in Avengers, you can watch him get sexually molested by Thor. What? Foster Thor. Yeah, Foster Thor, hell, anytime she wanted to taste the chocolate, then she just grabbed Sam and just kiss him. She just take him and make out with him because he was too weak to do anything else. And in true liberal form, they had him like it. Never mind, he was dating Misty Knight in his own book, so he had a girlfriend. But yeah, Foster Thor, how she get done with the battle, go, man, I'm all hyped up for this battle, just grab it. That's nice. You know, if you flip the sexes on that, the sex and race on that, y'all hell broke loose. If Luke Cage hell had snatched up Sue Storm and just slobbed her down because he felt like it, all hell break loose.
All right,
but
we're veering off into one of our previous conversations, and it's just about time to wrap up. So, in conclusion, we'll go around briefly to everybody as quickly as you can. You know, keep it brief. What do you think the end result of this is going to be, Tony? We'll start with you.
What I think the end result is going to be?
Yeah. What do you think the what do you think the industry is going to come out of this pandemic in the next few months? What do you think it's going to come out looking like?
I think it's going to come out. It's going to be scarce for one, because people right now are doing something that they haven't been able to do in years, and that's use their creative juices to create something new and exciting that the big two wouldn't allow them to produce, because again, their agenda that they're trying to push is what they're focusing on. They're not giving a lot of these creative talents out there the opportunity to bring something to the forefront, something that's new, something that's fresh, that didn't have anything to do with the major two. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say the independent forces are going to be the ones that's going to be setting the tone for the new shape of the industry as we come to know it.
For the next age of comics.
Yes. So unless Marvel and DC start to do what Image has been doing for the past few years, they're not going to be in the forefronts like they used to be.
Okay. Todd, what about you?
I think it's probably if everything wraps up within the next 2 or 3 weeks, I think comic shops will manage to kind of sputter on. If it's the next month, God forbid, the next 2 months, I figure the physical brick and mortar comic shop is gone. I hope that Tony's right and that, you know, maybe they exist in some form. But like I said, I don't know what I know, have heard about the internal workings of the thing. I know AT&T was already looking at DC funny, so I could see DC being gone. And Disney ain't as flush as it used to be. This is really showing just how many businesses will kind of as month to month and paycheck to paycheck as your typical American is.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope that Tony's right, and this is the next, you know, the start of the next stage of comics. But I could very easily see this being, you know, kind of it.
Okay.
I hate to say it, but I could see it being it.
All right, Taylor. I know you're not as big into the comic industry or as comic stuff as some of us, but what do you think?
I mean, it's going to follow the trend that most anything follows when a bunch of creators suddenly get dropped on their own in this day and age. You're going to have a big boom of Patreon, Indiegogo, a big boom in webcomic, big boom in webtoons, whatever you want to call them at the time.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to go up and up. The situation will end at some point. Some of the writers will negotiate for pay based on other things. You know, they may realize I'm making more on, you know, freebasing my own stuff than I am going to the big company, so I'll stick what I'm doing. The big company will be hiring, you know, back possibly at better rates if there's some kind of great argument, but most likely not. You're just going to see webcomics go up, dip a little bit, and then level out. And the general quality of the big two companies is going to take another dip, and they're not going to spend the time to train people and get people educated on their subjects enough. And it's going to be another dip down for the manual comics unless they take the time to literally, you know, train and teach.
Whether they take this as a wake-up call.
It's going to be interesting no matter what.
Yeah, that's really my takeaway from this.
It's going to get a lot worse before it gets better.
Oh, yeah.
And the thing of it is...
What was yours, Jason? Because the rest of us did something. What was your take?
Really kind of a combination of Tony and Taylor's. You know, I don't know if the big two are going to make it through. I mean, probably in some form at least for a little while. I figured there'll be a big boom of creators kind of going out and doing their own stuff to try to make ends meet. My only concern there is that you may wind up with a glut, which might hurt, you know, the industry as a whole. But
what do you mean by that?
Well, you go, okay.
Everybody and their mama drops one.
If everybody runs to Indiegogo and Kickstarter, you may have too many of them going at one time to really get major support from anybody. You know, you may spread the market out too thin.
I think what they'll wind up doing is they'll wind up doing it to the point to where there's enough to go around that everybody will be able to get a sample of the pie. And I think what they'll wind up doing is they'll probably form some kind of union, some kind of correlation amongst themselves.
Eventually, you might wind up with another image or something.
You'll have,
which would probably be the best case scenario.
Yeah, quite likely.
Yeah.
If you ended up with, you know, another image, if you ended up with, you know, some more kind of competition, you know, maybe some of the smaller, some of the smaller line forge and the types kind of merge, you know, with having, you know, more people involved, maybe it increases your chances of survival. I'm pretty sure Diamond is gonna have some damn competition coming out of this.
Yeah,
they're gonna have to, because their infrastructure that they've had a monopoly and a chokehold over the industry for so long now.
Well,
so right now,
discussing the diamond monopolies is a whole another conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we can all agree that we're living, as far as the comic industry is concerned, well, really, period, we're living through interesting times right now. And
I think that's kind of period.
Part of me can't wait to see how it turns out, just out of kind of a morbid curiosity. You know, I'm just crossing my fingers that the characters that I grew up with will survive in comic form in some manner. But if this pushes the big two down to the same level as everybody else, that might be good for the industry overall.
Yep. Well, that's what I'm gunning for, because hopefully they'll start to realize that, hey, we need to start putting out more quality versus quantity.
Well, they need to realize that they're a business.
Yeah.
If they realize, if this causes them to realize that, hey, I'm an actual business, would vastly improve a whole lot of stuff.
True.
So anyway, that's been our talk today on the comic industry going into the pandemic and what we think it'll be like coming out. I've been your host for the day, the experienced Some Call Jason, and with me as always has been
the Todd father, who decided to come inside because his stomach muscles were starting to hurt. God, I'm gonna come out of quarantine looking like I'm blessed by the path of God.
And
the token
Tony,
fan hoping that Christopher Hastings. I'm going next. The token fan of Christopher Hastings hoping he goes back to Dr. McNinja, Tarky.
And our special guest,
Tony the Hitman Horton, which I am out of bourbon, and Jarvis isn't responding anymore. So
because he's gotten into the
he was eaten by one of the zombies.
The Corona zombies.
Yep, the Corona zombies.
Whoa! Censor that. We cannot say that word.
I meant the beer. I think,
yeah.
Too late.
Yeah. He's hopped. They hopped up on the beer.
Oh no, we may be demonetized. The two people that listen may not give us any money. Anyway, we will see all y'all next time. We're out.
Take it easy. Stay safe.
Peace.